Hey, it's me. So I'll get right to it. Um, I haven't done a video for a while. It's been so busy. Uh, it's summertime. When when it enters spring, summer, I kind of go into this portal and I'm in my own world. So it's a beautiful world, you know. But um, my vibration is a lot higher around this time. So um, I miss a lot of events. People invite me to because I just don't see them on Facebook like I do in other seasons. But anyways, so I want to talk about that whole thing about the airport. The lady, she's just freaking out because she saw something that is not real in um, her perspective. Um, so I just saw a video of this, and they're saying, saw another video, a different perspective, that it's not using the reptilian theory, and they're using artificial intelligence as the possible theory. They're both plausible. Um, so one thing to look out for. In my past videos, I have mentioned about the reptilians and how they are based off the vampire legends based off the reptilians. So, to my understanding, they cannot shift if it's daytime. I think at the way it looks like, because I've been on a plane boarding it on nighttime before, that looks like it's taking place during the daytime, morning. Um, and a lot of flights have you come in the morning. Um, I don't know. I guess there's times. Every time I boarded a plane, it was to go to another country. First time was to go to Colombia. For those that know, I'm half Colombian, so I am half Latino. And second time was to go to Japan. And it was daytime. To my understanding, they cannot shift during the daytime. Now, unless the sun's hitting them, I'm not sure if that has something to do with it. But normally, when they shift during nighttime. Um, I could be wrong, but that is, same thing with, yes, they do exist. Um, Dog people and werewolves and all that stuff. They typically do in nighttime. I'm not sure if the full moon as thing is a thing. I do know things add stuff to add to the story, um, but in that case, if that happened during the day, it's probably not reptilian that she saw. So the video I just saw was saying about artificial intelligence, and it wouldn't put it past me because this is the time. I just watched Blade Runner, and I rewatched the Terminator series, and for you anime fans, you guys remember Dragon Ball? And you know, Dragon Ball in particular, Dragon Ball Z, uh, respiratory virus comes, and helps depopulate the Earth before the actual androids, artificial intelligence come, and that's what happened. Goku dies from this respiratory disease. Um, Sounds like COVID, and then the androids come. Okay, and I think there's other storylines where a disease happens, and artificial intelligence starts taking over. Um, and these stories are telling the future as part of the game. You go to school to, everything mainstream was part of the Illuminati, New World Order, anything, Christianity, Jesus, um, LBQT. I hate to say it because I am an ally. I do go to Pride, you know, but yeah, if you want to face the truth, yeah, all that is part of the Illuminati. So is the school system. They teach you to trust your government. They teach you that the government might not lie to you. They might teach you to trust pharmaceuticals, the big pharma. Okay, and they also tell you to trust what we're telling you, and what they're telling you is, you know, that's make believe. That's not real. And then, so even if you start seeing examples of shows like The Simpsons and movies like Terminator and Dragon Ball Z telling the truth, telling the future, you're just supposed to write that off like, what a coincidence. But if you are spiritual, there are no coincidences. So, um, the last video I just saw used the example of Steph Curry, throwing all those, with one hand throwing all those shots, and then they're just going in like, he's not. I mean, he's swishing them, you know, um, and I do believe someone, if they put their mind to it, they could accomplish that, such a feat. But um, I've done that. I've thrown basketballs with one hand. I'm one of those guys that when I play ball, I make the craziest shots, and one of them is one hand shots. But um, I don't do it with that accuracy. I mean, when I do it, I'm in the middle of playing a game, but you know, um, still, that precision, that accuracy, and to do it 4 or 5 times in a row, um, you know. But here's the thing: if that was truly real, I mean, maybe I think Steph Curry maybe is a android because you know, do it. Something about Kevin Hart. He saw something, you know, mechanical in his arm, and then there's another photo of Steph Curry. You saw weird pinch in his arm, in his skin, you know. So it's possible, guys. What sci-fi is might not be, you know, fiction. Sci-fi is actually fact. Especially when it comes from anime and also X-Men. Another good example, X-Men. Days of Future Past. Just another example. Um, whether you've seen it in the cartoon series or whether you've seen it in the movie, I actually have the comic book. You know, um, these are storylines that are letting you know. Okay, that's why it is extra crucial to open up your third eye, open up your crown chakra. Do what you can to keep that vibration high. Um, but back to Steph Curry, um, I'm going to lead to my point. Um, why isn't he doing that during the games? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think basketball is rigged too. Um, everything mainstream, everything on TV is rigged. Whether it's basketball, UFC, WWE, all that's rigged. Anything on television, Which brings to my point. What I think what's going on is that lady and that whole scenario is a um, enact. It's something to distract us, because when the artificial point, I can't really say anything, but the reptilian point of view, or a great alien in disguise, they don't openly, and this is the whole thing with the Las Vegas thing. It's most likely not real. I'm not saying that these things don't exist. They definitely exist. I'm a clairvoyant. I use my third eye to see stuff. I'm a big fan of cryptids, so you bet I used my abilities to see if these beings, like I'm a big fan of Loch Ness Monster. I use my ability to see if these things are real. Okay, and in my other video about why I don't believe in Jesus, I use I use my third eye to see, and I didn't see anything with him. So I've used it for Bigfoot, Loch Ness monsters, reptilians. These other things those things are real, and but they're not going to openly tell you that. They're not going to openly confirm. You can't. This universe is too big to for us to be the only ones. This planet to be the only thing with life. Okay, it's just way too big. It's like, look at the ocean, right? And it's like saying I'm in Connecticut. That's like saying uh, the shoreline here is the only part that has any aquarian life. The rest of the ocean is just blank. There's no living organisms for the rest of the ocean. We're just the only ones here in Connecticut that have aquatic life. That's basically what. That's just no. It's just, even if we haven't seen anything or read any thing of saying possible that aliens exist, that's highly unlikely. Um, so for years they've been pulling shit out the hat, every rabbit out the hat, to debunk stuff, and you know, even with cryptids, because there's some they're trying to debunk the whole shapeshifting thing. They really don't want us to know these things, and um, in my other video, I talked about Loch Ness Monster, about it shapeshifting into humans and to Bigfoot, and that's why they've been able to evade uh, cell phones and cameras, for so long, because they're not just in that water, but also in the loch. Okay, they're not just there. They come out of there. Um, there's a lot of shapeshifting going on. It's not just reptilians. There's werewolves. There's dogmen. Where you're talking, these things actually exist. And if you guys have psychic abilities, if you guys have your third eye open, please use your abilities. If you guys work with a pendulum, please use these things to see if you trust it, use it to decipher. If you are a big fan of Michael Jackson, there's people are still trying to stick him with, when he's no longer here to defend himself, they're still trying to stick him with being a pedophile. Okay? Again, use these abilities to show you. Okay? But use these things to show you about stuff they constantly deny. It's like, you should be questioning stuff they don't want you to know. Well, now they're trying to, the whole Las Vegas thing. Now this lady on the flight, you know, now they're trying to say, oh yeah, aliens exist, but for years they've been pulling every rabbit out the hat to debunk it. And if you look at, this is where I was going to with Nessie, Loch Ness Monsters. Back in 1998, they found an underwater cave inside the loch. Okay, now in videos right on YouTube, when they say stuff about it, there's no possible way it exists. They completely leave that part out. That they found an um, underwater cave inside the lock. They completely ignore it. So um, they're kind of hell bent on debunking stuff, and now all of a sudden they're trying to, um, this whole thing with Las Vegas UFO. I actually don't know the full story about that, but I heard about it through word of mouth, and this video that has resurfaced about this lady. I think this is all. We all have to take it back to what we say about television. Television, telling lies through vision. It goes back to that. Telling you stories through vision. Okay? So, most likely, this whole thing's a publicity stunt to distract you, to say, what the hell is going on? Let's look into this. And, you know, it's like I said, they're not going to admit that reptilians exist and shapeshifting and, you know, the only thing they didn't never admitted it, but you kind of can't deny anymore is the presents are all related. That's the only thing, but they're not going to admit the reptilian part, or Planet Nibiru or none of that. They're not going to admit that part, but they kind of had to admit the presence being related because you can actually go on heritage.com and other sites that you could look at the bloodlines, your family heritage. Ancestry.com is the other one. You can look at these sites and you could trace them yourself and find that the presents are all related. So they kind of had to, admit that. But anything else, um, the extraterrestrial aspect of all this talk, they're not going to admit that openly. So when they finally do, it's definitely to distract you. It's definitely to get your attention to something else. Um, haven't used any of the stuff I mentioned to see myself. If it gets on TV, I automatically write it off as, you know, televised through vision, and I just go about my business, you know. But other than that, yeah, it's just another play to distract you. Okay, another tactic to get you all excited. Oh my God, it could be UFOs. Oh, reptilians. Something sci-fi is real. And which it is real. And like I said earlier, but kind of get you excited for them to actually admit that it's possible or it is real, but you know it's not. And I wouldn't be surprised if something's revealed that, even though she looked genuinely scared, um, you know, it could be something. It could be MK Ultra. She might be actually having a breakdown and caused by MK Ultra, and they're just playing it off. Or she's just a very good actor, you know, and that's that. I'm running out of time, um, but that's my take on it. I'm gonna try to do more videos. I'm actually on vacation, so I'm gonna try to do more videos, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.